Most people assume the concern with uranium mining near an aquifer is that something goes wrong, a spill, a leak, an accident. Here is the part that does not get discussed. The injection operation itself can cause an earthquake, and that earthquake can cause the contamination. This is not a theory. It is documented by the federal agencies that regulate the industry. The EPA's own 2015 guidance states directly, seismic events from injection have the potential to cause endangerment of underground sources of drinking water. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission acknowledged in 2007 that in situ leach mining techniques still tend to contaminate the groundwater, not might, tend to, and a peer-reviewed global database of human-induced earthquakes documents 8 cases of seismicity associated with solution mining, the technical name for in situ recovery uranium mining, the exact method proposed at the Dewey Burdock Project in the Black Hills of South Dakota. In episode 30 of this series, we documented the full story of Dewey Burdock, the permits, the aquifers, the 7,650 unclosed boreholes, and the Madison Formation that supplies drinking water to western South Dakota, including Rapid City. This episode is the loop that episode 30 could not fully tell in one sitting. Let me show it to you. The Congressional Research Service documented the mechanism. Underground fluid injection can change the geologic conditions of a fault, causing the fault to slip in an induced earthquake. 4 steps, all documented. Step 1. The injection operation begins. Fluid pumped under pressure into the uranium-bearing rock layer changes the stress on surrounding faults. This is a predictable physical consequence of pumping fluid into pressurized underground rock, not a malfunction. Step 2. If the pressure causes a fault to slip, an induced earthquake, the ground moves. In a region of low to moderate natural seismicity, like the Black Hills, the surface may not feel it. But at the depth of the injection wells, the movement is real. Step 3. Ground movement shears the well casings that are supposed to contain the uranium-laden fluid within the mining zone. Sheared casings lose hydraulic control. Loss of hydraulic control is called a groundwater excursion, contaminated fluid migrating outside the intended zone. Step 4. The excursion moves through the 7,650 unclosed exploratory boreholes already in the ground at Dewey Burdock. Direct pathways between the Inyan-Cara mining zone, the Minaloosa disposal zone, and the Madison Aquifer below. The injection causes the earthquake. The earthquake causes the casing failure. The casing failure causes the excursion. The excursion reaches the Madison. Every step documented. None of it requires anything beyond what the EPA's own guidance acknowledges is possible. Monitoring tells you when contamination has occurred. It does not prevent it. Here is the regulatory gap. The EPA's underground injection control program includes mandatory seismicity requirements, but only for certain classes of wells. Hazardous waste injection wells. Carbon dioxide sequestration wells. Those have mandatory seismic review. The Dewey Burdock wastewater disposal wells are Class 5. The Congressional Research Service documents that seismicity requirements do not automatically apply to Class 5 wells. Regulators have discretionary authority to add seismicity conditions to individual permits. Discretionary, not required. This means the seismic risk of pumping millions of gallons of ISR process waste into the Minaloosa Formation, directly above the Madison Aquifer, is subject to whatever conditions the individual permit reviewer chose to include. Not a mandatory federal seismic review standard. The permits describe monitoring protocols. Monitoring tells you when something has gone wrong. It does not prevent the seismic event. It does not prevent the excursion. It documents contamination after the fact. in an aquifer that cannot be restored once it is contaminated. This episode gave you the loop. 4 steps, all federally documented. The injection can cause the earthquake that causes the casing failure, that causes the excursion that reaches the Madison through the unclosed boreholes. Episode 30 of this series gives you the full picture. The Dewey-Burdock Project, the 3 aquifer system, the 379 million gallons per year, the EPA appeals board ruling, the Fall River County vote that federal permits overrode, and my position as someone who was born and raised in the Black Hills, who grew up above the Madison Aquifer, who read every one of these documents. The state permitting process is restarting right now. Public comment periods are coming. The Black Hills Clean Water Alliance, bhcleanwateralliance.org, is tracking every development in real time. The loop I documented today is not a reason to panic. It is a reason to read the permits. It is a reason to show up for the public comment periods. It is a reason to ask the question the documents raise and do not fully answer. What happens to the Madison Aquifer if the injection triggers a seismic event and hydraulic control is lost? The documents are public. The question is real, and the window to ask it is open right now. The documents are in the description. This is Words with Wentz. Know the truth.
Let the signal cut through the noise. Reading between the lines. Every story leaves a trace, unlocking time and space, finding truth with